Now, we can like or dislike Donald Trump, but you got to give him credit. This guy was living in a triplex apartment adjacent to the Tiffany store on Fifth Avenue.
Right.
If you walk into the apartment, I'm sure you've been there, it looked like Louis XIV smoked crystal meth and decorated the place.
Well, no, he's brought it to the Oval.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the Oval's more Liberace to me, but it's not quite, we could debate that. But in any event, he saw it.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. I grew up in a blue-collar family. I ended up going to Tufts and Harvard, then I went to Goldman, and I got detached. And I think the warning sign for people is that you get to confirm biases of the people that you hang out with.
Right.
And so that was happening to me. And so I didn't see the pain and the trauma that's on the ground. But let me say something to you that I really want to reinforce, and hopefully this makes your program. You need $121,000 in America to have the right balance, meaning if 30% of your money is going to go towards housing and the rest is going to go for clothing, discretion, things like that, you need to make $121,000 just to get in the game.
Right.
The median salary in America is $84,000. So that means half of the country is making below $84,000. The struggle, Chuck, is real in the country. The affordability, Donald Trump, Joe Biden, they both made the same mistake. They told the country the prices are going down when the prices are going up.
Right.
And if you don't understand the dilemma that these people have, and you don't understand the palpable anger, and there was a woman before Trump's speech in Mount Pocono yesterday, said, listen, I'm skipping prescription drugs.
Right.
I'm skipping visits to the dentist and things that I actually need. I don't have the money unless I want to take my family into credit card debt.
Right.
And so the fact that Silicon Valley and Wall Street is tone deaf to that issue is a big thing. Now, Michael Dell, I give him a lot of credit because he's looking at it and saying, okay, we have to try to solve this through some blend of private sector, public sector, community. We have to try to do that. I don't want to go hard socialism or hard left. But trust me, you're a student of history.
Well, this is what happens. You get this overcorrect. Right.
Exactly.
I mean, in some ways, Trump might be an overcorrection from one way, just like Obama might have been an overcorrection another way. And there's a little bit of history of that in our country.
Listen, I mean, there was a great book. H.W. Brands wrote a book, and I love the title of the book. It's called The Traitor to His Class. It's about Franklin Roosevelt. Yeah. Because he's a very rich guy, an aristocrat, but yet he's putting all these planks of social security and all these different things that he thought people needed to save themselves. And in some ways, he wasn't a traitor to his class. He was an enabler. Henry Ford said it better than anybody. He said, hey, I'm going to create a job where you can afford what's being produced by yourself on the assembly line. I'm going to make sure you make enough money so you're in a single-family house and going to a good public school for your kids. I don't want you descending on my house with a tiki torch and pitchforks while I'm carving into my steak. He didn't want that.
In fact, so
we've lost that, Chuck. We've lost that.
There's a movement. There's these whispers that the reason why these wealthy folks on Silicon Valley are creating bunkers and compounds is that they think the pitchforks are coming.
Yeah, I could never figure that out, actually. I mean, so are they doing that for the nuclear bomb?
That's
are they
right.
doing that because
I
of the
don't
solar
quite get
flare?
it either.
I mean,
but
my
other than
attitude
fear.
is, if I'm going with everybody else, I'm going to go anyway, I mean, the best line ever is from Mel Brooks, relax, none of us are getting out of here alive.
Right.
I mean, take it easy. I don't know. I don't get the whole compound thing.
Yeah.
But if I were them, I would say to them, I get it. I understand you want to make a couple $100 billion. You need, I guess, $1 trillion or whatever the number you need. But you better focus on these people because you don't want to live in a barbed-wired, security perimetered McMansion while your fellow neighbors are suffering. I can tell you that doesn't work. And if you analyze this as an economist, and that's how I really got my start, the distribution of economic rent in a society, if it's roughly 50-50 between labor and capital, you generally have an aspirational society. You generally have a burgeoning middle class. We're 47-53 right now for capital. Now, the irony, Chuck, is that capital is controlled by the 1%.
Right.
So you can literally give 99% of the people 50% of the economic rent, leave the other 50% for the 1%, and you're building a happy society with class mobility. The fact that the very wealthy are not satisfied with that, and they want to lobby the Congress for more tax cuts or
Right.
more benefits for their businesses, or they want to do whatever they can from a Citizens United perspective,
Right.
I think is dangerous, and I think we need reform to fix that.
I want to talk about the blockchain, crypto, and the Trump family's involvement, because I've talked to folks who are really bullish on the blockchain, who are worried that the perception that there is essentially an insider deal here, the perception that essentially the crypto industry essentially bought off the Trumps to keep regulation, that it's actually that it could harm the industry. Where are you on that?
Well, I think it has harmed it. I mean, so I'm in a little bit of a different category. I look at the children, Don Jr. and Eric Trump. They should be allowed to be in businesses.
Of course, they're private citizens.
Exactly. The Trump meme coin and launching that a couple of days before the inauguration, I think has definitely hurt the industry. Now, he has been better for crypto than the Joe Biden, Gary Gensler regime. There's no question about that. But when the president is injecting his own personal gain into the equation, pulling $500, $600 million out of a meme coin that all of us know has no value, if you want to be a cynic, you say, okay, somebody that wants to influence him could put money in that meme coin. Somebody that wants to.
Do you worry that that's created risk in the system?
Well, what I worry about it has hurt the perception of the industry. And what I worry about is that older Democrats who were open-minded after the 2024 election to propitious and fair crypto regulation have been turned off by what the president did for himself. If you're telling me that Eric is going to be an investor in American Bitcoin, I will fully disclose on your show, I am also an investor in American Bitcoin. So Eric and I turned out we're in the same company. I have to be agnostic about your investment analysis. I think it's a great long-term company. But for Donald Trump to put a Melania and a Trump meme coin into the game hours before his inauguration, I think it hurt the industry. I mean, you got the stablecoin bill passed, but you didn't get the clarity bill passed. Everyone was expecting both this year.
And what would the clarity bill have done? I understand the stablecoin is essentially a way to have some, where you have some certainty about what they say the worth is. Right. What they say the worth of the stablecoin is, it is what it is. What would that other bill have done?
So I'm going to say it more broadly. You have the technology to do everything, but you're being prohibited by regulation. And the regulation is there because of what's happened in these boom and bust cycles. The regulation, SEC comes into place in 1929. Then you get the whole stress test thing that comes into place after 2008 as it relates to the banks. And so these businesses and financial services are understandably tightly regulated. And so this is financial services ultimately. This is transactional stuff. And so you need to have a regulatory framework on how things are going to go. What is going to be approved as an ETF or not? An administrator like a Gensler or even a Paul Atkins shouldn't be making that decision or shouldn't be enforcing laws through litigation or potential prosecution. There should be a whole body of laws that are created in the legislative process that dictate how these things are going to go. And so we got that for the stable coins. The Clarity Act is more about market structure. How are we going to tokenize? Who's going to be allowed to tokenize? Am I going to be able to hold my Bitcoin in custody at JP Morgan? In the beginning days, Chuck, that was going to affect their tier 1 capital from a Basel III capital perspective.